Woohoo. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Oh, I'm so excited to welcome you to year 3. I don't know if y'all know this, but we're in year 3 of a 3-year grant, a CMP grant that your state survey agency gave the go-ahead for. That's a big deal. And Laura Hudspeth there has been very involved. This grant is called Implementing Culture Change Throughout Wyoming Nursing Homes Affecting Resident-Directed Living and Team Member Retention. I hope y'all know that the research tells us when you change institutional culture to be less institutional, less scheduled, more normal, more flexible, more wonderful, more like home, not home like home, but not home like. People tend to like that, speaking of like, and they want to live there and they want to work there. And guess what? All the outcomes are there. So I have fun saying culture change is still the answer. It has all the outcomes any of us want. And in this year 3 now, the plan is for me to roll through some of the same training we've already done. I know that may sound weird, but we're going to experiment in solidifying it more with people. Some of you know some of this. Some of you know none of it. And those of you that know some of it, maybe there's some more you didn't know. So the next 3 webinars are teaching the Artifacts of Culture Change tool. I'm actually going to run through every item. I do not like to teach about it. I like to show you every single thing that's on it. So please forgive me. We're going to roll through a lot. And my name is Carmen Bowman. It's been my privilege to coordinate these efforts with all of you. This is a note to me and you at the very end. I need you to please try the link. If someone could try it and verify it works. This is a survey I'd like you to just take at the end. And here we go. The Artifacts of Culture Change was actually developed by CMS, Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, Central Office, Division of Nursing Homes in Baltimore. And that's a big deal because when the federal government actually sponsors something, that's helpful and innovative, it's a big deal. And so this original tool came out in 2006. I was very honored to be a subcontractor to CMS. And this first version was great. There was nothing wrong with it. However, we got a grant to develop a second version. And I also want to say before I forget that the original intent by my colleague Karen Shaneman was to create a way for nursing homes to showcase the great things they do. There's really no place for that, especially within the government realm, and survey realm. Plus, it was her idea to get quality of life represented in the 5-star, even back then. And that is still a wish of ours. I bring it up with CMS when I can. I'd be curious to know what you all think. And maybe there's a way to ask for that, push for that, request that. I don't know. So the word artifacts was chosen on purpose. If you think of like a culture that went before us, anthropologists maybe commit their life, right? Their career to finding proof of those cultures. So notice these practices are like that. They're proof of a changed culture. And they're kind of something you can touch. We wanted a tool that you can go look or touch it. It's concrete. It's a practice. It's a policy, a procedure. If for instance, you say we don't wake people up, you can go ask people, or you can watch for it in the morning, Let's see. I have some people, I apologize, in the waiting room, and I just realized I got to make sure to let them in. I'm so sorry, everybody. Here we go. Usually I can do it and talk at the same time. So these new artifacts represent home compared to the institution. It's also not an interview tool because we know that takes a lot of time, and most of you already do that. We do call it a self-assessment tool. You're going to fill it out. We recommend never fill it out alone. Please do not one of you just fill it out. It's intended to be a community-wide effort so that you all agree. We've run into funny stories where like administration says, well, of course anyone can take a bath when they want. But guess what? CNA said, no, they can't. There was some like old unwritten rule that nobody got a bath on Wednesdays in a home in Florida. That's a true story. So you always want everyone, people who live there and work there, to concur with what you decide. And it's not hard. We have a new structure where you simply indicate whether a practice is fully implemented or partially implemented or not a current practice. And I love to add yet. And we also call this an educational tool. If you do nothing but read it or listen in on this, you will learn a lot about change practice. Typically, it gets people excited. So we also call it an inspirational tool. And then if you get excited and inspired, hopefully you what? Implement some new practices. So look at that. It's also an implementation tool. And last but not least, it is a benchmarking tool, because if you complete it right now, you end up with a tally score, and you could do it a year from now. I just recommend annually. There's really no reason to go more often. And you get to see your progress, which was really the design of the tool as well. And thanks to another, get this, CMS actually paid for the 2.0 as well, because it's CMP monies out of Maryland. And this came out in 2021. And by the way, Wyoming, you're one of the first states to really use it on a state level. And a lot of good is coming out of this. I'll tell you more as we go on. When you go and get this tool, if you don't have it already, it also comes with guidance. So sometimes there may be a term we use and we realize maybe not everyone knows what that means. For instance, our artifact number 1 is about the practice of welcoming new people. And what does that mean? So there's just a few, I forget how many, on our guidance tool. We also have a lot on the website. Pardon me. If you go to this website, Pioneer Network, find artifacts of culture change, you can get both the tool for nursing homes. And if you're linked with an assisted living, there's also a tool for assisted living. And then we also linked on purpose to any resource we knew of, mostly the free ones, which a lot of them live on the Pioneer Network website. They also have some videos, some are free, some cost money. So we try to be helpful here. We also put together some free tutorials if you're interested. There's that. And so there ended up being 5 sections, and it's my joy to start with section 1 today with you. We'll do the other ones next time and the next time. And today we turn our attention to resident directed life. And I'd like to show you all, what is it not saying? I'd love to hear in the chat box or unmute yourself and someone say what that's not saying. Anybody know what I'm getting at? What do we usually say?
It does not say care.
Woo, Brittany. Yay, Brittany. I knew Brittany would do it. Thank you, Brittany. I am proud of that, by the way, guys. See, person-centered care was outdated when CMS made it popular, sadly. I'm not trying to be mean. It's just a truth. And our culture change movement had moved on to resident directed, person directed, because you direct your life. Right now, you and I are directing our lives. You could also call it self-directed, and we want to do that the rest of our lives. And wise people know that older people, or no matter what your age, should be doing that, right? Even with dementia. People with dementia can often answer our questions, yay. And even if they cannot, the people who work closest to them know what they would say. So if I spit out my green beans, what did I just tell you? Direct care team members know that. Then also notice we bring up the word life, not care. Care gets way too much attention. That's part of the problem. Would you agree that life is more than care? And I want to invite all of you, my culture change buddies, to consider talking about life and living more than just the care that people are receiving. Life is more than care. We have to get that across. So that's why this section is called what it is. And I know we have some friends from Star Valley. They were in the project where I work with 5 homes per year, and they actually chose this artifact number 1, welcoming. So it says new residents and their families are welcomed by team members and managers. They're introduced to this new home. They're educated about the culture change philosophy of enhancing residents' control over their lives, about their rights, amenities available, and choice of schedules. And these are 2 people who live at Star Valley, and the gentleman is welcoming a new person who live there, and they have really worked on ways to welcome new people. And by the way, it's not always the same. They taught me, they reminded me that everyone's different. Someone might want a big party, like a Brittany Hall, and some might not, right? And that's, it's up to them. So then I won't go into all the resources, but I happen to have them on this slideshow. If you ever want resources, they're part of this handout, but I'll zoom by them. I don't have time. So the next artifact is that a home would offer at least one of these styles of dining that really get after giving residents choice. Restaurant style with orders being taken, buffet style, where you either help yourself or team members help you get what you want, or yes, family style, where you serve it in bowls. I just needed to know that over the years, they've all worked. Now, I know we had COVID. I know we're coming out of COVID. I know some of that may not feel like it could work right now, but we've had great success with all of them. Even the food in the bowls, homes that actually did it told us that the temperatures were better. People ate and maybe had a little more and they were done. I marvel at that, And by the way, back to Star Valley, we have a whole video documenting a lot of this. We've had them on the shows, and they moved toward a beautiful menu. So you're getting a glimpse of it here. Build your own. How do you like that? And look at this. They're very astute dietitian and team moved what was simply a table. Think of a long table. That's all that was there. And they realized they could move it and use that space to put refrigerated prep drawers like you have at places like Subway. Think of Subway, you pull out the drawer and there's everything you need to build a sandwich or build a salad, refrigerated. And that's what helped them to transfer into a cook to order team. So good. The next one is each meal is available for at least 2 hours and residents can come and go. We call it open dining. And I'm so grateful for this sign. It's so old and it's so funny. Mealtime, eat anytime you prefer to. Breakfast 6 to 9, lunch 11 to 1, dinner 4:30 to 6:30. You can have your choice off the buffet or order from the menu. And I've always realized, wow, that's a lot more choice than I would have in my house. How about you? And wouldn't that be wonderful if you lived there? And happy to say that most of the homes I've been working with have moved into open dining. Also happy to share with you that your 2 Eden homes in Wyoming, Mission at Castle Rock and Morning Star, have naturally gone to this as well for many years, and you could learn from them. The next one is residents are supported to prepare or serve food per their preferences and abilities. And this is in addition to cooking groups. This is not the typical institutional cooking group activity. No. And I'm proud to say Brittany Hull's on the line. She started this at Life Care Casper, and I actually have a clip coming up later that will tell you more about it. Okay. Actually, what I would say here is this is probably looks like a harder one, that residents are actually invited and encouraged to help prepare food. But I want you to see it. And Life Care would probably tell you they haven't really pulled it all off yet, but that's their goal. And they started with things like silverware and filling the salt shakers, but it's their goal to actually get there. And you'll hear the dietitian talk more about it. So then 5, we have snacks and drinks are easily available for residents at all times without having to ask. Wow. So things like a snack bar, they call this the snack attack bar, a stock pantry, refrigerator. Many, many homes have done it. So are there lots of issues around it? Yeah, actually, but isn't that exciting that many homes have done it? This home started with snacks that would actually be also of a pureed and softer consistency because they didn't want any problems. I marvel at that. Isn't that brilliant? And did you know there's a lot of foods that are actually that consistency that you and I eat all the time, and they are yummy. Raise your hand if you like cheesecake. Isn't that great? That's a whole other topic. We did a whole webinar on that, moving towards real foods. Anyway, I worked with Wyoming Retirement Center. They put in all these drink, help yourself, and there's a stock refrigerator right next to it, which is actually empty on occasion because people help themselves. So then we move on to 6. In addition to snacks, get this, residents can order food from the kitchen, what? 24 hours a day, and team members are actually empowered to honor their food requests. Now, let's talk about this. This can be very simple, to be honest. I've worked with teams that simply realize, well, we lock the kitchen at night. Maybe we could at least just give the keys to the nurse so that if someone wanted food, the nurse could unlock the kitchen. Okay, that's how simple it could be. Life Care and when Brittany was there, they're still moving in the direction of kind of that idea. They were brilliant. Brittany, you were brilliant to come up with a cross training idea where they would have a late into the night laundry person who could be cross trained into the kitchen. And if someone wanted something, that person is empowered to go make it. Now, can they make everything in the middle of the night? No, but it's better than probably how most nursing homes are. I also want to do a call out to Westward Heights. They too worked on food available all day. And when I asked, are you really doing that? One day, their dietitian said to me, oh yeah, we just go with the flow. Someone comes and they want something, we just make it. And by the way, guys, I could hug her. How about you? Because I've heard wise administrators say things like, this is their home and that's their kitchen and that's their food. I could tear up, you know? How dare we have a sign that says, no residents allowed in the kitchen. No, 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 no. And Westward Heights that did a whole year's project on not waking people up, on personalized meds and open dining. And we just go with the flow. Guess what? Oh my gosh, I got to get Tara on the show sometime. Not the show, but the webinar. Tara has shared that she's worked there for 7 years. And for the first time, everyone, in 7 years, they've had 0 weight loss. Can I see someone clap? Yeah, Brittany. Woo! Isn't that great? 0 weight loss. Are you kidding me? And because of moving towards real foods, guess what else, everybody? They used to spend $1,000 a month on supplements, and now it's down to $250. Those supplements are pretty silly, to be honest, overall. They cost a lot of money. People don't really drink them. They're not real food. You go after real food and give people real food they want to eat, and you supplement a real food with fatter food or skinnier food, you know, people are more likely to eat it. Yes. And have you ever tasted those supplements? Jolene is saying, I hate them. Me too. I can't even get past the smell. They're so yucky. Ugh. So guess what? I'm just going to call it out. Institutional practice is that the people who actually live there have to ask for things. Can you imagine having to ask, could I have some more coffee, please? How would we like it if we had to ask every time? So normal practice, non-institutional, home practice is you do not have to ask. These are adults. The more we can give them their life back, the better. And there it is. I already mentioned it's their kitchen. So, and Jamie, thank you, says you can never beat the benefits of real food. Jamie, that's so funny. It's like, do we even have to say that out loud? What is the matter with us? Thank you. That is good, Jamie. Will you email me that, Jamie? Because I got to move on and I'll forget. Let's see. 7, baked goods are baked in all resident living areas. Oh, I love this one, like a bread machine or a convection oven where you can bake cookies or cinnamon rolls. And I'll give you a hint, everyone. One year I worked with a team in Colorado, and all they did was got a bread machine, and they committed to this. And they did bread every Wednesday, I think, and then they moved the machine around. So you had to follow your nose. and some weeks you would end up in the dining, offices, and another was social work office, therapy office. And it was so creative and so easy and so good. You could do that. More resources. Okay. Number 8. The home has a policy to consider the regular diet for all residents prior to considering any restricted diet. Isn't that wonderful? So we're trying to flip the paradigm here, everyone. Ideally, your home would have a practice that we only do the regular diet unless it is very well documented and this person wants a restricted diet. Isn't that great? If you move in asking for a restricted diet, yeah, we know how to do that, right? But we don't do it that way typically, the institutional way. And also, residents are educated and making informed choices about what they eat. This is I sort of want to say these are magical words, everyone. I'm not sure if that's the best way to say it. You can help me, but informed choice is lingo that actually comes out of CMS regs. And we glommed onto it in the movement and the dining practice standards, which I'm going to tell you about. And I encourage you to start using these two words because they say it all in two words, don't they? You do the informing, you do the educating, you do the reminding, and that person gets to do the choosing. Informed choice. And that's a practice. And then before commercial supplements are used, wow, it's in the artifacts tool, real foods are offered. Smoothies, shakes, malts, other real food. And here's another example. Guacamole is of a pureed consistency. Most of us, not everyone, a lot of people like it. Raise your hand if you could eat it with a spoon. Anybody? Brittany, you went away. I could eat it with a spoon. Deanna, no, I could. But the point is, there are lots of yummy foods that are naturally pureed that could be offered. It's a much bigger topic, but you could have fun in your team just double checking. Do you offer cheesecake? Do you offer refried beans? Do you offer more souffles and thicker soups, etc.? And then it's on the artifacts tool that the home adheres to the dining practice standards. So what are they? They came out in 2011 after a big symposium. Again, I was very fortunate to be a subcontractor to CMS and facilitate what was much like a congressional hearing on culture change and food and dining. And I'll tell you in a sentence, those standards really were created for us as professionals to figure out how to honor the people who actually live and eat in these homes, to be able to eat what they want to eat. Highly recommend you go get them. They're free. There's also a toolkit we put together for a nominal cost, supports the Pioneer Network. Next item, next artifact, that your home actually celebrates residents' birthdays individually. So that's either rather than or in addition to some big group. Everyone's used to the big group, but I want to tell you, a lot of places don't do them anymore. I was hearing Pam Strecker from Star Valley. It's in a video, which I'll be announcing in a minute. She says, people were confused. It's not my birthday, or, oh, it's my birthday. Brittany, have you had that too? And now you're kind of having to double explain everything. I hadn't thought of that in a long time. I didn't remember that from my day. So yeah, Brittany, you want to add?
We had a lot more fun also doing the individual birthdays because then, maybe Betty's birthday is the same day as Sally's. And so they're like, oh, we're birthday twins. And it was so much more fun for them than doing the big group birthday where everybody just gets a generic piece of cake.
Yes, thank you. So watch out for generic, guys. It's tempting to think, oh, we do that. But if you give everyone the same thing, that's not what we're after here. And it's so much fun to ask people what they want to do on their birthday, what they want to eat. You take it from there. Maybe it could be a meal. Maybe it could be going out. Maybe it's a cake, but they get to say what they want. The whole gamut, of course, is represented. I just want potato chips. I want to go to this restaurant. And yes, we've had people say, don't mention it again. There is the whole range of possibilities. It's so great. They get to decide. 13 is getting at essential oils. Some of them actually enhance appetite. I'd be curious, do any of you use them for that? Decrease pain, reduce anxiety and insomnia. So notice we're not even saying aromatherapy. We're trying to get rid of calling everything a therapy. That is medical. That is hospital. That is not real life. And so using essential oils to help people in different ways. 14 is actually a massage therapy, is real massage therapy by trained people. So, only a massage therapist can give massage therapy, and that is what is meant here. I did want to share with you a home that hired a massage therapist certified, and you can see here they dedicated a room that's a massage table, and then they also have one of those massage chairs. And guess what happened to the reports of pain in this whole nursing home? Who can guess? Reporting of pain. Ooh, Jamie. Jamie is sharing that peppermint is amazing for headaches. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't know if I knew that. And I have a daughter that has headaches. Ha! Appreciate that. Everybody share. And thank you, Brittany. Yes, pain went down. Of course it did. You want pain to go down? You could do some of that. Oh, love this. At least one dog or one cat lives on the premises. Isn't that cat adorable? Oh my gosh. Like we had to walk around that cat, everybody. That cat lived in that home, and that home was the cat's home. Do you see how profound that is? That's how comfortable the cat was living there. Jamie also shares massage is a great way to ease chronic pain. Yeah, for all of us. Pet and policy procedures. We actually have a artifact that your home would have a policy supporting residents to bring their own dog or cat to live with them. And this would include pet care. And look at this, for residents who might be unable to provide the care for their pet. Some homes do, I'm not going to say allow, they do support, they do encourage people to bring their pet. Isn't that great? However, they often go, but, the minute they can't take care of it, it's gone. So be aware of that, kind of a mixture approach there. I love seeing teams kind of realize, well, if Sally can't take care of her dog, we will. Yes. And then if you want to move into this, I highly recommend the one and only resource, really. It's from the Eden Alternative, which is famous for reminding us to bring real animals because people thrive when they can care for others, whether it's children or people of all ages and real babies and real animals. Morningstar has real ducks and real chickens outside, and the residents interact with them. They watch them. It is fantastic. And they had a dog that lived there. COVID changed that, but I'm sure they'll have another one. And this resource was written by 2 veterinarians who have worked with nursing homes, and they have chapters on all the various animals. Okay, great. Oh my gosh, Jamie is full of information. Go Jamie from Mountain Pacific. She said that just yesterday she was on a call that stated animals are one of the items that help give support to people who are considering suicide. Oh, and there's a community in Phoenix, Arizona, who had miniature horses on the property. Yes, that is even better than visiting everyone. We got to get to live there. The goats, the chickens, the ducks, the horses, the dog, the cat, the bunny. They've done it. If they can do it, you can do it. All right. Can you believe I ran into a physician order once? Believe it or not, it said this: Michael must have his dog with him wherever he lives. In fact, look at that, Jamie. That physician maybe knew more than we knew. Maybe suicide, mental health. He must have his dog with him wherever he lives. Now that's a physician order I'd love to see more of. How about you? And then we go to say the home supports the philosophy that each individual's preference for real and authentic relationships and experiences are a priority, and they are considered before any artificial or technological substitutes. So we're going to do a poll, everybody. Get ready. The poll is, oh, no, that's not a poll yet. Sorry. Okay, raise your hand if in your house you have an animal that lives there. Okay, Brittany, you're my person. Brittany lets me see her. Love you, Brittany. Deanna, in your home, do you have any animals that live in your home? Raise your hand. Okay, so 2 out of 2. And how many of you have animals visit your house? Visit. Brittany, do any animals visit? Yes, a little bit. So. And Joanne, I'm sorry, Deanna, do you have animals that visit? Okay, both of you do. That's interesting. So, you know, in most of our homes, animals live more than they visit, although I think we've seen visiting more often. I have a neighbor who has grand dogs, right? Takes care of them when the kids are out of town, right? But most homes mostly have animals that live there. We have dogs and we also dog sit for friends and family, says Joanne. Thank you, Joanne. And Jamie has 2 dogs, not just one. We see that too, right? All right, moving on. One of my favorites, probably number 1, which is number 18. The home supports each resident's natural awakening rather than waking residents on a set schedule. Woo! Who wants that? Who wants that? All right. Did you know regulation supports this? Residents have the right to choose. I usually don't even say the word activities. We know that. I usually don't even have it bold. Go to schedules. Ready? The right to choose schedules and stop. Bring that to your team. Residents have the right to choose schedules. CMS then added, including sleeping and waking. Yay. Then we have this. This has been there ever since the beginning of nursing home regs. They have the right to make choices about aspects of their life that are significant to them. Raise your hand if sleep is significant to you. I am raising my hand. So is Brittany. And Deanna, is sleep important to you? Okay, great. 3 out of 3. And why in the world do we wake people up then who are retired or don't have a job and don't really have to get up for anything? Why couldn't their body decide when to wake up? We actually call that true choice, everyone. Because you might be tempted to walk around and ask everyone, hey, when do you want to get up? Hey, when do you want to get up? But did you realize true choice is your body wakes up when it's ready? And that's what I love to promote. Take that to your team. And you can also teach your team to start tiptoeing. You tiptoe into the room. Sleeping. Guess what you're going to do? Tiptoe back out of the room. Just start somewhere, everybody. You know, if you say that breakfast is at 7, I'm guessing that people probably can still get breakfast by 8. And one simple tip is to stop saying breakfast is at 7 and to start saying breakfast starts at 7. And that will help you ease into what we call open dining and honoring sleep. And Jolene is saying yes with lots of exclamation points. And she said, I didn't have a choice about my waking time this morning. LOL. That's right. Because we are the working people, just like they were. And they certainly aren't working. And therefore, might as well be sleeping. Because they are us and we are them. Right, everyone? Let's do it. Let's honor sleep. Here comes the poll. Try this, everyone. I will want to be woken up on the institution schedule. Yes or no? Thanks for playing with me. Let's see if anyone says yes. I will want to be woken on the institution schedule. We should share this, everyone. Please take this statistical data to your next meeting, okay? There was data on the webinar. And let's see, I have 10 people or 10, organizations replying. And you can let people know it was 100%. Oh, I got to show it to you. End poll and share. Here it comes. Isn't that great? Okay, you could start asking the people who live in your nursing home. Do you like being woken up on the institution schedule? Do it, guys, do it. This is what changes culture. You actually say out loud some of the obvious stuff, okay? And just let it inform you and let it guide you and start to think of it as baby steps. And it is good. And 100% do not want to be woken up on the institutional schedule. Of course not. So then why does every nursing home almost in America do this? And they don't have to. All right, I don't know if this is going to work. If we all go to the top of Zoom and go to options, is there options? Oh no. Oh, there was options. Oh, someone help me. I wanted to go to to be able to annotate. If you go to annotate and you start to draw, you could say something. Yeah, there's me, but can you all do that? Or do I have to have like a whiteboard, I bet? Oh boy, I am so sorry. Someone tell me. John says yes, but yes, what? Do I need a whiteboard? And
Yes, you have to have a
oh,
whiteboard.
bless you. Thanks, guys. Don't we all have whiteboard basically? I'm sorry. I wanted to try this.
We can't open our whiteboard, Carmen, because you're sharing your screen. So you have to do it so we can see it.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Carmen,
Yeah.
at the very top of my screen, I have a message there that says that you are viewing Carmen Bowman's screen. And then
Yeah.
off to the right of that, there is a view options with a drop down. You can drop down, annotate, and then you get that
Okay.
bar there, the
Now-
toolbar.
Okay. Look, you guys are doing it. I'm just sorry. I should have had more of a blank screen, darn it. I'm so bad. Okay. Let's just talk or put it in the chat instead, or if you want to say it on here, okay? I love it. Here's the question. What do you need for a good night's sleep? Ready, go. Dark. Joanne needs dark. You can talk to me or you can type it. Dark room. Hey, 2 for 2 right there. And cool temperature. Dawn needs quiet. Leave me alone. Somebody put leave me alone. Exactly. Good, good. Thank you. Oh, it's so fun. Dark room again. Quiet. Doggo snuggles. Lovely. I think I have leave me alone twice. Cool temperature and comfort. What do you mean by comfort, Marcia? And Patrick has to have a fan. Oh, Patrick, I haven't met you yet. So does my husband. Oh, you guys, it's so much fun. I recommend you do this with your team first. It's so much fun. Someone needs 2 fans. What? And you go through it. Go through these things that we all know. Okay, like raise your hand if you're a fan person. And then notice not everyone raises their hand. Raise your hand if you're not a fan person, right? Raise your hand if you got to have it dark. Raise your hand if you don't want it all that dark. You see, and just have fun together. And then start to think about how you can go get that information from the people who live there. And by the way, I would suggest perhaps a care conference, if nowhere else, right? Or anywhere, one-on-one, in resident council. Just have fun. Start to gather what people need for a good night's sleep. Are their pillows right for them? The bed, the mattress, the blankets, roommate. What's going on with the roommate? Does someone need white noise, right? All these wonderful good things that probably you could help make happen pretty easily. Oh boy. And now somebody help me. Now it's on every single. Oh gosh. I'm so sorry. I wonder, does anyone know? Hide annotations. Hide. They didn't go away. Okay. Well, I apologize. My bad. The next one is each resident's daily preferred bedtime is actually honored. Have you ever seen this? Honey, I've been through 2 world wars, the Great Depression, taught 3,297 children, administered 4 elementary schools, and outlived all my friends and relatives. I'm 91 years old, and look at how she's looking up. You're telling me it's bedtime? Yeah, we don't need to do that, do we? The next one, residents are awakened during the night only per their preference and individualized need, not according to some generic approach, such as turn and reposition every 2 hours or some other routine incontinent checking. So by the way, everyone, we call that generic care. And which one are we supposed to give? Generic care or perhaps individualized care? That will help you move out of this. Start to really look at, observe, talk about, assess who really needs to be woken up at all. Who, if so, how long can you help them sleep before someone wakes them up? By the way, here's a big tip. Thank you for whoever's erasing. Thank you. Here's a big tip, everyone. Watch this. If I am sleeping in my bed like this, and the next time someone looks at me, ready? I'm sleeping like this. I reposition myself. And if you train everyone to have good eyes on that, you don't have to move people as much. We also could take advantage of the longer wear incontinence products. So Tia Kness, DON, Westford Heights, admitted, we have all these great products why don't we take advantage of them? Probably most of your folks are sleeping on a pressure reducing mattress. We got to let those beautiful products work in our favor. And then we have meds are delivered according to each individual's rhythm. This is so great. Again, so Tia Kness did this at Westward Heights. She looked at everyone's meds and she talked to every resident she could. She talked to doctors, she talked to family. She got a lot discontinued. And she found out when people prefer their meds. They heard things like, please don't give them to me at dinner time. I get too full then to eat my food. I'd rather have some before bed, things like that. 23, individualized non-pharmacological approaches are what are used. So I just thought of a few, like, are you taking advantage of making sure people get outside, get some sunshine, sit by a window? Did you know sundowning is a big cue that that person needs more sun? Did you know gum? Have a little gum. Everybody get gum. People who chew gum, there's something about it stimulates the brain. The refreshingness of it kind of shakes us up, kind of gives us a restart. It's kind of like the same idea of going outside. And probably animals is a wonderful non-pharmacological approach. All right, just going to zoom through some. If you haven't heard of bathing without a battle, go look it up. It's excelente. If I was you, I would put it in front of all team members. Yep, even maintenance, even though they'll never give someone a shower, because it's a really good training on getting to very individualized approaches. It's so good. And so it's actually a culture change practice that you use these more individual techniques, such as bathing without a battle. Also, resident preference is both known and honored, whether it's bath, shower, or even a bed bath. Preferences for frequency of bathing and showering are both known and honored. There was resources there. Moving on, the home coordinates for someone like family or friend or volunteer or you guys, team members, to be with someone who might be dying so that they're not alone, according to their preference. Individual memorials are held at the home. So this is, again, individual. Many homes do group memorials. We're just trying to get away from things done in groups like the birthday and honor that individual like a funeral does one at a time. Our birthday parties in our life, in our real life, are usually one at a time. And then also, in addition to that, meaningful rituals around end of life, or I should say when someone passes away. So some teams, have a rose at their table for a day or two. Some have a place, like Life Care of Casper worked on this, to have a place where you could share memories on a card by a picture and the rose, that kind of thing, or a book, give it to the family. Oh my gosh. In Colorado, many homes moved toward what they called, like, it was they actually played chimes, which was an indicator that someone passed away and their body would be escorted out the front door. We have a bad history, don't we, of not talking about it, keeping it quiet, keeping it secret, and taking a body out the back door. And the thing is, what message does that give the beautiful people who live there? And when I was involved with one of these processions, you can't help but cry. It is so respectful. It is so beautiful. And it's so easy. The next one is that residents determine their own daily schedules. Plus, they can change them and make more spontaneous requests. Here's the best part, probably on the whole tool. Resident schedule preferences are integrated into team member schedules. If you're not doing that yet, everyone, I would predict that is your future. So you might as well step into it. The baby boomers aren't going to put up with what we offer. We are going to have to change how we do things. A famous quote from our movement is, no longer are the needs of the institution going to come before the needs of the individual. So it's kind of fun, the language. We're moving from institutional to individual. We're moving from institution to home. We're moving from all about care to all about living. Oh, so good. 31, residents participate in, like, a committee, whatever you call it, and they make decisions about the decor in the living rooms, outdoor areas, bathing rooms, etc., and purchasing items, what to eat, what to drink, the linens used, the furniture. How many of you have heard this? There's often a decorator that works for a corporation, and she flies in from Texas to Wyoming, and she gets to decide what goes on the walls. I know, Brittany, I know. How can this be? She doesn't live there. I recommend we we don't let that happen, everybody. The people who live there decide what goes on the wall. I've seen homes have a decor committee, and anything that goes on the wall goes through the decor committee. We've often had like a food committee, but how could you expand it? We've expanded it to not only food and menu, but the dining ambiance. 33, deciding on daily things to do. We're avoiding the word activities there. We got to get away from group activities, everybody. So they decide on daily things to do that offer meaningful engagement and purpose, events, how to celebrate holidays, etc. Another practice would be that they also sit on a committee that make decisions about, drum roll please, hiring staff members, team members. Illinois has several homes with resident hiring committees. Can you believe it? And you have to pass the committee of the people who live there before you can work there. And hopefully you're all doing this. Just a reminder, it's a great practice. If you're not, residents participate within your QA and QAPI committee and subcommittees and PIPs. You know, I need your help, everyone. We should have a resident or two on these webinars. Like, I'm guilty of not always remembering how is this possible to invite the people who live there. So help me with that. Those of you that are in the project this year, we must get at least one resident on your committee. And some teams have pulled that off just beautifully. Might it take longer? Sure. Does it matter? No. Next one, residents and families are kept informed of policy changes and decisions that affect residents. A great way to do that is a family council. That will come up later. But this idea of really being proactive to have great communication. And then 37, the home engages residents in volunteerism according to their preferences. Wait till you see this, Brittany. This is Life Care of Casper, everybody. Here we go. This is part of a mini documentary that now exists on YouTube. I'll tell you more in a minute.
Yeah, so the part of the culture change movement that we're working on is helping or having residents come in and kind of help either prepare food or set up the dining room, roll silverware, any of that type of stuff that normally they would probably do at home. So kind of having a place for them to contribute here.
Yay, Brittany.
Well, ma'am, I was raised on a ranch, so you didn't sit around too much or too long. You just got out and do what you had to do, and you do it. And volunteer works is a good idea. I mean, it makes you feel good where you're not lazy. Well, it makes me feel good because I feel like I'm not helpless.
even a class, everyone, on all the volunteer opportunities at Life Care Casper. Round of applause. Way to go, Life Care. Brittany, thanks for starting it all. I got to round up the hour real quick, everyone. Support groups for grief and loss. A lot of people have that, living in a nursing home, maybe living with dementia. Try it. And then certainly families might benefit from some sort of a support group. Residents and staff participate in decision-making more, like on a neighborhood level. That's a lovely way to also bring decision-making closer to the people who live there and those who work closest to them. So on the tool, you would add up your totals for the subsection and you start to see the different subsections. This is just an example. And then we also turn into percentages, and this becomes your benchmarking to compare it to a future date. So in Wyoming, I hope you all know, our Wyoming Culture Change Coalition has some big audacious goals. The first one that is probably the most doable with your help is that every person working in a Wyoming nursing home starts to learn about culture change. So we really need your help. Our goal is to get every one of your 37 nursing homes every month. We really, really need help. I need your help. I'm trying to reach out to people individually. So if you know someone who's not here, you have a sister home or a friend, help me get them. And then another big goal is that anyone who lives in a nursing home in Wyoming would not be woken up and their body would get to decide. And that's going to be harder. And that's why we need more and more people to learn so that you can move in that direction. Our next webinar will be the next two sections of the tool, being well known and home environment and accommodation of resident needs and preferences. And then in June, we do the other two sections, family and community leadership and team member engagement. I apologize. I've gone back to registering for these. I didn't do it during COVID. I just felt like it'd be one less thing for you, but it also helps us to track who is attending. So we are going back to registration. Okay. And I have another poll. Oh, that's so fun. Okay. Poll. Yes. No. Hang on. It's showing me the other one. Here we go. This poll. Here we go. Launching poll. I would rather live in a facility or a home. More data coming out of Wyoming. Oh, this is so good. Oh, this is so good. We got to think of ways to use this data, you guys. 10 out of 10 did not want to be woken on a schedule. Oh, notice the schedule belongs to facilities, doesn't it? And I'm going to end the poll. Yay, we're at 10. Thanks, guys. End poll, share results. Look at that. 10 out of 10 would rather live in a home. We got to use this data, don't we? So part of changing culture, everyone, is language. I invite you to consider never using the word facility again. Let today be your day. Why? Because it has nothing to do with home. Look it up. You will not see the word home pop up. So please consider focusing on home. This is their home. The word community is also lovely. If you hang out with culture change people, you'll hear one or the other. The other way to avoid the word is to maybe just keep referring to the title of the place, Life Care or St. John's, etc. Really compare, like, what would you say in your house? It's so weird. We don't use these kind of weird words in our homes, but we do in the institutional world. And we're going to do a word of the month. So that was the word of the month for this month, April. And the next word of the month is transitioning away from patient and even resident. Now, why would we do that? Resident did replace patient on purpose. CMS did that. Thank you. And we've realized this. I think it's best said by this administrator. He goes, he was a person way before he was a resident of a nursing home. And that is what convinces me. How about you? So nobody seems to get offended when you call them a person or an individual. And then some communities have gone together. You got to do it together. Ask the people who live there. Sometimes they decide, yeah, we want to be called neighbors. We love that word. We are neighbors to one another. So guess what? If we have to get used to a weird word that we're not used to saying, so be it, right? We think of them as patients and residents. Ugh. It may not sound normal to call them neighbors, but let it become your new normal. And many of your Wyoming teams, communities have gone to community member. And look at how beautiful that flows. All right, a free resource on language if you're interested. Could you all go to that link? Is it working in the chat box? I hope it's at the very, very top. I put it in and it should be a Google document. If you could all just tell me, no, Brittany, no. Oh, these don't work for me. Okay, well, could you please, somebody put knowledge before and knowledge after. I have to track this. Just even a few of you, it's really helpful to me. Knowledge before, knowledge after of today's topic in the chat box. And do any of you have any questions or comments or ideas? Oh, thank you. Thank you. I've just got like 2 or 3 things to share and we're done. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Here we go. 2 or 3 more things. Here we go. I mentioned we have Wyoming culture change videos. We have mini documentaries now. Star Valley, Life Care Center of Casper, Westward Heights, Mission at Castle Rock, Morning Star. 3 of those homes were in this project. 2 of them are Eden homes. You will cry on every single one. They're free. They're on YouTube. Go check them out. And congrats and thank you to Amy Holt, Polaris, Bighorn, Legacy Living in Platte County. They are now the 5 homes that will be implementing culture change in this next year. Thank you so much for joining. Some takeaways would simply be, watch, guys. Start to call it out. What are the artifacts of the institution? We want more artifacts of home and normal. Learn about these practices. You probably heard some today that got you excited. Grab a hold of one. Have your own culture change committee, even outside of this project. Learn more yourself. Become an advocate. Call yourself that. Maybe say, I'll start a committee. To be honest, you will save money. You will make money. Outcomes are better. Satisfaction is better. Regulatory compliance is better. It's all better. You move towards life instead of care, home instead of institution. Does anyone want to share anything? We got woo woo, and we got yay Wyoming. And I think that's it, everyone. Thank you so much for coming.
Bye,
Bye,
everybody.
everyone. Thank you, Brittany. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Have a good weekend.
You
Thank
too.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.